Today on Down to the Wire, punching their ticket. The Habs are through to the second round of the Stanley Cup Playoffs, while the other teams battle for their remaining 7 spots. Today is Wednesday, April 23rd, 2014. I'm Shawn and this is Andrés, and this is episode 15 of Down to the Wire, and the Stanley Cup Playoffs are well underway right now. The Montreal Canadiens are already through the next round with the sweep of the Tampa Bay Lightning.
Surprising that they sweep them, not necessarily that surprising that they beat them. Montreal has, they beat the Lightning in every aspect of the game in this series. It looked like they were going to put up a better fight, but they just didn't show the same depth that the Canadiens did. The Canadiens, all 4 of their forward lines getting scoring. Stamkos having to carry this team with St. Louis after that trade, with Callahan coming over, being better than St. Louis during the regular season for the most part, having 11 points in his 20 games as opposed to St. Louis' 8 points in 19 games, but not having the same impact in the playoffs. Callahan, not a single point, -2, as opposed to St. Louis, who has been doing pretty well for the Rangers, starting to heat up.
I think the biggest difference is goaltending, and you look at Tampa Bay Lightning, which is very unfortunate that Bishop had to be injured for this series. Lindback allowing a lot of really questionable goals that he should have had, and Montreal Canadiens taking nothing away from them. They were dominant in this series. Carey Price continues his unbelievable season. I could see Montreal going farther than I expected. I can even see them taking down Boston Bruins if Carey Price is up to it. And by the looks of things, he is in full form right now.
Moving over to the Bruins, like you said, right now leading the series. Still my pick to go through in their matchup against the Red Wings, but that one at 2-1. Here, different story with the goaltending. Both goaltenders have been fantastic on both ends. Rask possibly having the upper hand on Howard, but nevertheless, both of them doing an amazing job so far. And the difference here has been the physicality for the Bruins. They've always been known to be a tough team, and their size has paid off in this matchup. Their skills as well, but they've been pushing around the Red Wings, and it really showed the last couple of games, so I still have the Bruins for this one.
It's the big bad Bruins against the younger, much weaker side of Detroit Red Wings, and obviously physicality is going to come into play. I didn't see that much in the first game, however. I think if Detroit can play that style they did in the first game, they weren't letting the Boston Bruins push them around as easily as they have been in Game 2 and 3. And I think Detroit needs to get back to the basics, not let Boston get to them when it comes to physicality, and they'll have a shot in this round.
Moving over to the other half of the Eastern Conference, let's start with Pittsburgh and Columbus.
Yep, for sure. And Pittsburgh 2-1 in this series, but it has been a really close series. I predicted Pittsburgh to go through in 5 games, and this might change. It could go to Game 6 or 7 at this rate. Columbus really pushing Pittsburgh to the limit right now. I don't know if it's goaltending for Pittsburgh. Fleury's always been shaking the playoffs, but Sidney Crosby, 4 points in 3 games. Yep, that sounds pretty good, but for Sidney Crosby in his phenomenal form this season, he hasn't scored a goal yet. And they need Crosby, Malkin to step up and start scoring if they want to run through the Columbus Blue Jackets as everyone expected them to.
I had the Penguins going through as well, but I thought the Blue Jackets were going to put up a little bit more of a fight. Like you said, the Penguins are going to need to get some scoring in there if they want to make this an easier matchup than it's been so far. Crosby, Malkin, no goals. Neal and Kunis don't have any goals either. They have had scoring from other players, though. So far, they've got 11 goals from 7 different players. So that's going for them. But yeah, their big players are going to have to start stepping up. Arguably, the closest series so far, even closer than the Penguins and the Blue Jackets, the Rangers and the Flyers.
This series, everyone knew it's going to be a heated rivalry. It always has been. And the Rangers and Flyers are 2 teams that play, I see, a similar style, I think. And I predicted the Flyers to take this. It's starting to get more in the Rangers' favor right now. St. Louis finally scoring last night. Giroux and Hartnell not doing much yet for the Flyers, so they need to pick it up.
I also had Philly in 7, but it's been tough so far. And yeah, it's probably going to come down to the best players on each team, and so far that seems to be tilting in New York's favor. Over to the West, and let's start with the Avalanche and the Wild. For this one, the Avalanche seem like they've taken control. Their young kids have been amazing so far. Stastny and McKinnon have 14 points in between them in the first 3 games. And the Wild did slow down the Avs a little bit last game, but now Cook is out, so we'll see what happens with that, how long he's suspended.
I see the Avs really, like I said, pushing far, and I predicted them to go to the conference final. They're going to give any team that they play a run because of their young kid, their young talent, and it's just something that Raw has been doing with this team that has really just raised them from out of nowhere, and they're a huge surprise in the West for sure.
They're going to need that momentum that they're starting to build, and the hot play of McKinnon and Stastny and the rest, because whoever comes out of the matchup that they're going to end up having to face is not going to be easy. The Blues and the Blackhawks. The Blues taking the first 2 games at home, but it's been very close. They managed to edge out the Blackhawks 4-3 in both of those first 2 games. The Blues, of course, having a very, very shaky ending to the regular season. Sort of waking up, they've been playing better, but I don't know, I still see Chicago, even though they're down right now in the series, pulling this one out, especially with Corey Crawford getting the shutout last game and starting to play really well.
I believe that Ryan Miller has really kept the St. Louis Blues in this series so far, and not take anything away from St. Louis as a whole. Shattenkirk has played amazing this series. This series has been really physical, and I think that favors the Chicago Blackhawks. I've noticed every playoffs that the Blackhawks, I've watched every single game of theirs, and they play a physical style like no one expects it. Against Boston in the finals last year, they were really physical. Boston is known for pushing people around. They don't get pushed around. This Blackhawk team is different, and now that they finally got the win at home and the shutout at home, Crawford's going to carry that momentum into the next game, which is tonight. Expect St. Louis to throw everything at him, but I don't think that's going to be enough. I think Chicago will go through with this.
Another 2-1 series, the Ducks and the Stars. The Ducks with the upper hand so far in this one, although the Stars getting the last game. I had the Ducks going through in 6. I still do, because the Ducks have been an excellent road team all season. They had the second best road record throughout the regular season, and their best players have been pretty good. Getzlaf and Perry getting some scoring in there. If they can keep that up and they can break down the Dallas defense, they can get through Lehtinen. I think they can steal the game that's coming up, and I think they can still take it in 6.
Lehtinen has been a huge factor in this series, but I don't think he can keep it up. The Dallas Stars need their stars to start playing. I think that the Dallas Stars will definitely drop a game to Anaheim at some point at home. I think it will be tonight. Anaheim will definitely have a bounce-back game after losing 3-0 to Dallas, for sure.
Finally, our last series, what was predicted to be one of the closest matchups, has been anything but. The Sharks 3-0 up on the Kings, and what's going wrong for the Kings right now?
It's simple. Jonathan Quick has not been quick enough. Let's just put it that way. He was better last night, a bit better. San Jose just steamrolling them in the first game 6-3, second game 7-2. Third game in LA a bit better, 4-3 in overtime, but LA just can't find a way to close. I think that definitely they could have closed out that game last night, and they couldn't find a way to do it. Patrick Marleau and the veterans in the San Jose Sharks have been amazing so far this series. Anthony Niemi, amazing as well.
Last year, Quick was definitely the key. In that 7-game series, he only let in 10 goals. He's gone past that in the first 3 games, being pulled in the second one, not even completing the game. And the first one. Oh, okay, he was pulled in the first one, third period then.
Yeah.
And yeah, the defense hasn't been much better for the Kings. The Sharks have been making them pay. They were excellent all season long, their forwards. Scoring a lot, and they've just continued with that momentum. And I don't think the Kings are going to find an answer. I don't think they're going to come back. I don't even know if they'll win the 4th game. This could be a sweep for San Jose the way things are going.
I think that the Kings have it in them to make it interesting, but I don't think they have enough in them to force Game 7 and possibly a win. I'm looking like an idiot now because I predicted San Jose going all the way, and then I changed my mind saying the Kings would win. and now I regret that. So, that's it for today's episode. We will be back next week with soccer. And yeah, don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe on our Facebook page as well. So, yeah, thanks for watching.